I refer to my body as a work in progress. I've got this tattoo probably about 5 years ago now. It originally started with the bat. The bat is one of my favourite animals, and it also means, I found out, it brings good luck and it's also protection. And this bat was meant to look almost like a metallic sort of metal armband, if you like. It actually frightened me a little bit. It was my first tattoo to be on a part of my body that I could actually see physically myself. And I actually went into a little bit of shock, which was quite interesting. My arm blew up to twice its size that it is at the moment. I spoke to my tattoo artist, who told me that that's nothing to worry about, that it sort of happens with a lot of people, including men, grown men. So I found that quite interesting and amusing. My artist is so brilliant that he basically did all of this work, which is very, very William Morris-esque. If you've heard of William Morris, he did a lot of wallpapering type artwork, that sort of thing. This was all done in freehand, which meant that my artist, basically just threw on a couple of black ink, red ink type lines and crosses and you name it. I had to go to a mirror and have a look at this bizarre blob of what looked like nothing to me, but to him it obviously represented something. And today you now have this. And this one here probably began about 5 years ago and finished probably 3.5 years ago. This, again, is from the same artist who did I can't remember what you called this part of your arm, this part of my arm. To me, that it's all about balance and that sort of thing for my personal artwork. Again, as you can tell, I wanted it to tie in, because all of my tattoos are sort of all tied in. I want eventually, when my body of work is finished, I would like it to all be tied in, not look like a jumble of sort of small little tattoos here and there. No offence to those who have small tattoos here and there. This particular one here will eventually turn into a half sleeve. It can be rather painful and tender in spots, especially sort of under in this area here. That's one of the reasons why I'm procrastinating about the half sleeve. I have another couple of tattoos on my back. I have one which is right at the centre of my back, which is essentially the letter V, and with roses, etc. on it, which is really about vampires for me, which I personally believe in, and which is ultimately what I would love to be. The V in the centre of my back is shortly going to have essentially, if you had a choker at the front of your throat, a very elaborate choker, sort of think Moulin Rouge, that sort of thing, turn it around and have it hanging down the back of your neck. That's essentially what I'm going to have done above the V. That will be done in the black and grey shades, which are on the rest of my body, with touches of colour which are going to be in the reds and purples. The one which is on the bottom of my spine, that has grown over the years from something the size of a 50-cent coin to something which is now probably about that large. That will eventually wrap itself around my hip area, my lower hip area, and finish on my hip bones. These days also what you're able to do is have jewels inset into your tattoos, which I'm really excited about, because the one on the back of my neck is going to be like a piece of jewellery for me, and to have permanent jewels in that is really quite exciting, and I cannot wait for that, and that will hopefully be happening within the next month or so. Okay. My original tattoo came from what is known as a talisman, and a beautiful girl over in the UK gave it to me. She gave me the most beautiful gift, which was a pendant, and as I said, it had a talisman on it, and it was a gorgeous symbol, and I never wanted to lose it. I always feared that I was going to lose it, and I thought one way of never losing it is to get it tattooed on my body, because as I have been told by many people, including my parents, tattoos are forever, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want to lose this precious gesture and gift, so that's how it all started. That then grew into sort of a love of mine, just another form of my self-expression, which I guess people have been doing for centuries. With my own personal body, I wouldn't get necessarily my genitalia, for instance, or for example, done. One reason is, I guess, I don't see the sense or need for me personally to get that area tattooed. What I think would be beautiful and lovely is to maybe have a tattoo just above my pubic line, on my pubic bone, something that both myself and my partner can take pleasure in looking at, in admiring. It would be something that would really just be between myself and my partner. It wouldn't be something that the general public would ever get to see. I also wouldn't get my legs done. It's just an area that I've never really thought about having tattooed. For me, again, I just don't think it would suit my legs. I don't think it would suit my shape. My breasts would certainly be considered. Certainly a piece of work may come up my neck and then down and sort of embrace, I guess, one breast and then sort of follow the trail of my body quite organically, as we are organic beings, and I feel and believe that the tattoos and art should be also. We have all tried to express ourselves in one way or another, and body art and looking and dressing the way that I do is the way that I feel the most comfortable in representing Fran, who I am, who is on the inside. That is how my journey began with ink.